was walking back from Walmart thinking about like the city, how the city became what it was, and like how like businesses, like powerful corporations and businesses in this country became satanic. How this area became satanic, um, and like why I think this area is like collaboratively more evil than probably any city in the country. Like I think in cities that are have a lot of evil, like New York City, Los Angeles, I think that there's enough population where there's like a balance, where there's like enough religious, Catholic, Christian. You know, I think anybody who's any religion that believes in God in some form is, uh, you know, opposing is a opposite of Satan because like most widely accepted religions that believe in God to an extent, they offer enough positive aspects where it's pretty clear that they're, you know, a positive religion as opposed to a negative or an evil religion or practice like Satanism. I think there's like more balance, and I think in this area is like overwhelming after being in this area and seeing like the demographic from like a statistical standpoint and stuff. Working in a hotel, working in political call office, um, that you know obviously a huge percentage of the calls that I did were in Vegas. It was scattered around the country, but obviously the most that I did in one area was local. So from you know I had a really good uh, lens, I guess, as seeing like the demographic of this area from both seeing people in person working at a hotel behind the desk, and then also seeing at a hotel on the strip, and then seeing the demographic, you know, from talking to people on the phone and getting a gauge of what people, you know, when people talk about things, they talk about things in a way where you can gauge their perspective on other things by the way that they emphasize things. And I just learned that this area is like predominant evil, and I don't think you have that as much because of such a large population in Los Angeles and New York. So in this area, you have like an overwhelmingly unbalance of evil, and I think that's the most of any city in the country. And I think that it gets this way because I think let's try to stop saying I think. Um, I don't know all this stuff. I just thought about it. It logically made sense to me, like most things. Until I think about things that disprove it, I'm gonna believe it. You have like a lot of people showing up in this area. But first, this area was captured, and what I learned from working at the hotel, a great Native American war. And I think that there's a lot of spiritual. There's like a lot of opportunity to gain spiritual power after that war was ended. When the war was won by American settlers, who I think predominantly a lot of them. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if at the time they were evil, but the ones that dictated what happened in the city, they were evil. So you have this great Indian war between American settlers and Native Americans, where the city eventually was built, right where the strip is. That's why the strip is what it is. And I think that whoever built the city understood that if they could manipulate spiritual energy along the strip, they could gain excessive power in the spiritual realm. And that is why the strip is built where it is built. And then why it is littered with freaking, uh, you know, like casino machines, which are, I think, were invented to manipulate people religiously and spiritually in a way where people who practiced magic understood things that people who only believed in religion, like, you don't have to practice magic to study and understand it. Um, and I think that there's like a lacking of knowledge for people who just believed in religion and didn't study other things like magic. Like, they didn't even want to like learn about it because they were afraid. And people who practice magic understood that if they could manipulate like people using these machines with their black magic and curses and hexes, they could get under people's skin and in people's psyche and in their psychology, and they could manipulate their beliefs and their religion that way. And that's what a lot of Satanism, black magic is a lot of research and a lot of understanding of how to manipulate psychology and obviously magical spiritual energies and magical forces. They took advantage of people in this area over a long period of time. And then you have a lot of these traveling businessmen too that I think located in this area, and those traveling businessmen, those medicine men, they were Illuminati, magician, manipulative, uh, wizards or warlocks or whatever, where they use their business practice as um, a foundation for their religious beliefs, to not only as a foundation but to like manipulate and make an impact in the world based on what they believed in. So that's, I think, those two things really created a strong foundation for this area to be evil. And then you have people always coming here and traveling and only spending so much time here, so they don't really get like the full picture of what this area is. If they're here for like a year or longer, they're only here for like a short period of time, and you're on vacation, you're bringing money to spend, so it's very easy to manipulate tourists and from different angles, and like impact their like psyche, their beliefs, just a ton of things. You get in somebody's head very easily by the way that the city is set up. And then the other kid, I think he just had like a single mom with an older brother, and I think his mom, like, I have a really distinct memory, and like his mom came to our class in third grade for show and tell, and all the parents that came to that show and tell, all of them were like world travelers, like friends of my teacher, who I think now, thinking back, was a witch. She was a nice witch. She gave me good foundation for like how to learn and like just like more caring about learning than anything. Like, I really started to care about me learning things and getting smarter um, when I was in third grade. And some of these things that I'm talking about, like parents who were world travelers coming for show and tell and like showing all these cool things from around the world, and then like having us practice just like music, like without like not like in a music class form, but just like literally putting a box out with all these instruments, saying go play with these instruments and have fun for like 30 minutes at the end of the day. Like, I never had a teacher do that. She did that. But I think like all these people who came to this class knew this teacher, and I think there was like an Illuminati network. And, like, this kid's mom specifically was in that network, and then he graduated and went to West Point. And the only other kid that went to West Point that I remember from my school, his mom was my CCD teacher. And I think now that both of them, most likely, from the things that I remember about them, were in the Illuminati. Now that I understand things the way that I do. So, just side, like, tangent. I'm thinking that most of my work that I did, obviously the first company I worked for was the Illuminati, and most of the work that they gave me, like specifically certain sites they would assign me, were due to Illuminati influence, and the locations being like the Rockefeller Building and West Point Stadium, of highly satanic influence, as if like my work from a remote location could result in me being impacted by these evil energies. Then on top of that, like you also have most think men who accumulate excessive amounts of wealth. There's a foundational core in Satanism, and a lot of those examples, a lot of large, wealthy families like the Rockefellers and things like that, they have strong foundations in their family trees of things like Satanism. So you have that. You just have, the businesses that were established early in this country. There's a lot of already dictated influence in the form of Satanism. That's why they gave me the Rockefeller job at my job. One of the Rockefeller mounts on the building in New York City. I think they gave me like specific locations that were heavily influenced by. Now that I'm thinking about it, probably influenced by Satanism. So West Point might be another one. The kids that went to West Point from my school, kids I am skeptical of that they families were strong Satanists. Like two I could think of that were in my advanced classes specifically. One, his mom was one of my religion teachers, and I think most of the religion teachers at my school were witches. And then, what did I just say besides that? Fuck.
stolen from me. The government take my money. My content huge source of it's just country funding for photos, but I don't feel so bad having it stolen and not having it. Considering I'm in a state, stuck in a state where I wouldn't really want to use it anyway. It's like an evil city. It's, wherever I go, pretty much followed by like witch, like demon faggot bears, or witches like faggot cast like faggot spells, and like faggots trying to hit on me, just get pissed through, and then just not paying attention to what's around me other than how to get around. As long as it's like you send something in my direction or like something important, I just like don't pay attention to the people around me pretty much. Identify if they're most people are. Pray.